y'all, what's up and welcome back. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a story time on meeting my family in Mexico for the first time. So this is going to be very emotional. There was just a lot of things that happened. I wouldn't change this trip for anything in the world. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. So the morning I left for Mexico was very, very emotional. My mom had taken me and my cousin to a town in between where my father and I live, and we had met him at a gas station. It was just very hard for me to leave my mom just because, you know, she's literally like my best friend. She's my everything. So it was hard. It was very emotional. The whole way there I kept like getting emotional and kind of like wanting to cry like I am right now. Just thinking about it was very, very hard for both of us, I'm sure. So yeah, we met at the gas station and we got there before him. So my mom had took me inside and got me biscuits and gravy. That's my favorite food of all time. And so we got biscuits and gravy. And so my dad had arrived and, he was like, do you want something to eat? And he was like, nah. So about 5 minutes later, it was time for me to get my stuff and get in my dad's truck. Mind you, I'm 19 years old. At the time, I was 18, but I'm 18 years old. And I was still very emotional for leaving my mom and going across the world. And, without her, it was just very hard. But I had my dad, but he's not my mom. You understand? So y'all probably don't understand. But I'm a little crybaby. Anyways, so we got in the truck and we start to leave. Well, I get in the truck, I'm crying or whatever, talking to my mom, and so we get in the truck and we leave after I'm being a crybaby, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm really doing this, I'm leaving. Mind you, I have not been to Mexico ever in my life, and I went when I was 18 years old, and I still didn't even know if I was gonna go or not. Like, I got my passport so last minute. I was worried that it wouldn't even come in time, just because I'm just that type of person. I was so scared. Like, you hear all these crazy stories about Mexico and how people are getting killed and all this stuff, and I was just scared. I didn't want to leave, my safe place, which is my home, and my mom, that's my safe place. And I did. I literally did. I left, and it was such a great experience, but all at the same time, it was a wild one. So it took us about 3 days, y'all, to get there. It took us about 3 days. It was me, my dad, my cousin, and a gentleman my dad was taking. So I helped my dad drive. I didn't help him drive a lot just because I don't like driving, especially with him, because to him I drive too fast, which I do. I helped him drive, and the whole time on my trip to Mexico, I'm thinking about everything. I'm thinking about my mom, my fiance, my bed, my room, everything that there is to think about. I'm sitting there thinking about it. Like, there's not a second that went through my mind that I was in Mexico that I didn't think about my mama. I know it was hard for her because I'm her baby, and it was hard for me because that's my mama. But so it took us about 3 days, and we finally got to the border, y'all. And when I tell you this was the scariest thing that I had ever done without my mom, this was the scariest thing. I had to go in there and I had to fill out some papers to get like a permit to go in there. I think it was like $20-something. And I was so nervous. Like, I was just so nervous. I didn't even know where I lived or like what was my country and what was my state. Like, I was that nervous. Okay, so we had to fill out my permit, and my dad paid for it, and then we waited on him to get the tag permit, that you have to get like a tag permit that sits in the windshield, and it took him forever on that, and I kept thinking something's wrong. And minding you, it was so freaking hot inside that building. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, y'all. It's like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and so many people were flooding in. Like, it was like they waited and they were flooding in, and it was like the place we went was like right there in Tamaulipas, and that is like literally, like, it was so crazy. Like, first thing getting into Mexico, the very first thing that happened was there was this lady on the side of the road screaming, and we were freaking the freak out, and all I could think about was, I don't have my mom, you know? But hey, I was okay. I was in a car, she was on the side of the road. So anyways, we get to that place, and you know, we do all our paperwork, and about an hour or two later, we leave. And you know, crossing the border wasn't really hard. They usually say that crossing the border is the hardest thing, but for us it wasn't, I guess because it was so early in the morning. And there was a van that I do remember across the border that they had like saran wrapped a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't know what it was probably clothes or whatever, and they had a whole bunch of stuff saran wrapped, and they were just throwing it out their van like, what is this, and I was looking at my dad and looking at that stuff, and I was like, are they about to go to jail? And little did I know that's how, you know, some people pack for, you know, going across the border, because they don't care. They don't care about your stuff, and they just throw it out the car, and, you know, they don't care. It's not their stuff, and they're just doing their job, and they don't care. Okay, so we're driving, and to get to our little pueblo from, like, the border was probably, like, 6 hours. I'm not even joking. Just to get from where my mom dropped us off to Mexico was probably like 2 days, and then from our pueblo from the border to our pueblo was like 6 hours. I'm thinking, I'm not really sure because I didn't keep up, but it was like 6 hours. At that point, y'all, I was so over it. I was so over the ride. I was so over being crammed up in a car. I was so over it. Y'all don't understand. Like, I was sick. I was sick of being in the car. I was sick of just being there, and I just wanted to get out. I wanted to move, but we still had 6 hours left. So the 6 hours go by, and we stop a few times to use the bathroom. We stop a few times to get food, and the last place we stopped was a Subway, and that was probably an hour from where our pueblo was, maybe 2 hours. And honestly, y'all, the thing that I remember the most was the scenery. The scenery was beautiful. There was so many beautiful mountains, landscapes, and then there was also so many horrible things you would see. You would see homes built out of, you know, like, basically it looked like cardboard, and it was just so sad. You would see kids, you know, a few times we stopped and went to the bathroom, and you would just see kids asking for money, and, you know, I felt so guilty if I didn't just give them money, you know, and my dad would say, don't do that because, you know, their parents sent them out here, or this and this, and, you know, but I just felt so guilty. I felt so bad. Like, I don't live in the best home. I don't live in a mansion, but giving them literally like 5 pesos was nothing, you know, was nothing, just to give it. And I know the day that my mama goes to Mexico, she is going to give out so much money, because she is such a kind-hearted woman. And the second she sees a little girl carrying her little brother looking filthy as can be, that's just one that I could not get out of my mind. When we went to when I was in Mexico for a few days, we had went to a bigger city, and there was this girl carrying a little brother, and she was like, 5 pesos, and I just was like, oh my God. Like, it was so heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking, and we're so fortunate, and I always tell my nieces and nephews, we're so fortunate to have what we have. We don't have everything we want, and we, you know, we don't live like millionaires, but we have it. We have what we need to live and survive, and just every time I think about, you know, stupid things like, dang, I wish I had this and this and this, I always think, you know what, no, I have everything I need, because the kids in Mexico didn't, or the kids in Africa don't, or this and this don't, you know. And it's just, it was honestly like a reality check. It was a reality check when I went to Mexico. It was a reality check. I got off topic so freaking bad. When I get into our little pueblo, all I think about is I am so far from home, y'all. I am so far from home, and everything looks so different. Everything looks so different from where I'm from, and it was just crazy. Honestly, it was crazy to think. So first thing we do when we get there is we go to my dad's house, and you know, we get there and we're a hot mess. We've been in the car for 3 days, and you could not pay me to do my makeup. You could not pay me to dress decent. They was lucky I had a bra on, because boy, I was so uncomfortable. My back was hurt, my legs were hurting, my face was oily, my hair was oily. That night we did stay in a hotel. There was not even no conditioner or shampoo, and it was just horrible. But anyways, so okay, so we get to my dad's house, and I'm just like, I need to go, because I was gonna stay with my uncle at his house. So I was like, we need to go. I want to go take a shower. I want to get freshened up. As soon as we get there, everyone is informed that we are there. My grandma, my grandpa, my aunts, my uncles, everyone was informed that Jackie's in Mexico. I've never been to Mexico, and I was so terrified to meet them, y'all. Extremely terrified. So we went to my uncle's house, and I took a shower. My cousin took a shower, and we didn't do our makeup just because it was already so late. It was like maybe 7. No, it was probably like 6. And, you know, we just threw on some clothes, some tennis shoes, and we went to my grandma's house. I think we walked there. I'm pretty sure we walked there. So, yeah, we walked to my grandma's house, and everyone is there, y'all. Like, everyone, all my cousins, my aunts, everybody was there. They were just waiting on us, you know, and it was just so amazing. I was, like, almost crying. So I saw my grandpa when I was younger, and I also met a few of my uncles when I was younger. So it wasn't like I had never met some of my family from Mexico, because I had met some of them, but I was younger, and I was gonna go meet everyone. I met everyone. I met all of my aunts and uncles, y'all, and it was just so amazing. I met my grandma. She's so beautiful, and when I saw everybody there, only thing I could think about was family. This is what family is. And I would do anything in this world to have both of my families together. So when I saw my grandma, it was just like a, wow, you know, this is my first time seeing her. You know, I've never saw her in person. You know, I've only saw her in pictures, and that was only 1 or 2 times. And you know, I had some of my aunts on Facebook or, you know, Instagram, and I would see all these pictures of people, but I didn't know who they were. You know, I didn't know that that was my aunt's husband, or that was my aunt's daughter. You understand? Like, I didn't know who these people were, but I knew they were part of my family. So when I met them, it was just so crazy. I was extremely blessed, and I felt so grateful to have met all of them. And you know, I was there for almost a month. I was there for a month, if I'm not mistaken. I was there with my aunts and my cousins, and it was just so amazing. We would go places. We went to the zoo. We went to play soccer, play basketball. We were always doing something, and I love that. I love that we were always doing something. You know, I got to put a name to a face, and they got to meet me. And we're all very alike. The Jckvlzqz are all alike. And it's crazy to think that, but we have the same temper. We have the same attitudes. And I saw that in everyone. My uncle especially, he reminded me so much of my brother. My dad reminds me so much of my brother. And I feel like I act just like my aunt, I feel. I have so many. I have 3 aunts and 5 uncles, and that's just my grandma and grandpa's kids. Aside from that, they all have their wives and their husbands and their kids, and it was just one big family. And we all got together, and we would pack up in cars, and we would go places, and we would just do things that I will never forget. I will never forget, you know, so many things that we did. I will never forget the laughs, the cries. You know, I cried quite a few times just because I was so thankful that I got to meet them. And I always felt like something was missing inside of me. Like, I always felt like something was missing. And when I met them, I felt like I was complete. You know, like, I met my grandparents, and you know, I've met my aunts and my uncles, and, you know, we saw them together, and they just joke around, and they have fun, and, you know, they make the best out of every situation. You know, it doesn't matter about the money or the things or the phones or any of that over there. It really doesn't. The thing that matters the most to them is family. And I love that so much. I love that, you know, family was the #1 thing over there, and having the newest iPhone didn't matter to them, or having the newest eyeshadow palette didn't matter to them. They just loved their family, and they were all about God and so religious, and I love that so much. I loved every single person that I met. I love my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, everyone was so beautiful. My grandparents, they were just so amazing, so beautiful, such amazing and beautiful souls, and I cannot wait to go back and meet them. I will insert some pictures at the end of, you know, my family, and not really my family, I should say, because I don't know if they want to be on YouTube, but I'll insert some pictures at the end of some landscapes and places that I visited, and it was just such a beautiful sight, honest to God, it was. And I'm very grateful that my mom allowed me to go, and that she, you know, she gave me money, and she made sure I was okay, and she helped my family, and they got to know me, and they got to know a lot about my mom, because I consistently told them how amazing she was, and told them about my brother, and showed them pictures of my nieces and my nephews and my other brothers and sisters from here, and I just got to show them so much of me that they didn't know. Honest to God, I can't wait to go back. Yeah, I just feel like it was such a great experience, and next time I go, I want to go with my mother. Okay, y'all, so that was the story time on how I met my family in Mexico for the first time. It was a very fun, very emotional, very eye-opening, very heartwarming moment. So, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos. Join the fam and stay glam. Until next time.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air.